What is going on, guys? How y'all doing on this Friday evening? Just about a half hour before SmackDown is about to start. This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for my live review of this week's episode of NXT. So the plan is, NXT, I'll be watching SmackDown. I probably won't be able to live tweet during SmackDown again tonight. My new phone came in, so I'm going to be transferring my stuff from my old phone onto my new one during the show. But after SmackDown, unless something else comes up, I'm going to do my NXT TakeOver War Games 4 predictions if I have time afterwards. So I'm not too tired. I'll review SmackDown. If not, I will review SmackDown tomorrow. So that is, of course, the plan for tonight. So let's talk about NXT and get rolling here. This was the go-home show, of course, for NXT TakeOver War Games 4. Not a bad show. Good. It was good. Enjoyable. Couple good matches. The main event I thought was pretty good. Couple of weird spots, but other than that, thought it was a good show. Good go-home show. Again, it's as good as it's going to get for NXT right now. As I said in my AEW review, the war is over for sure, as NXT is the back burner because Sting has arrived in AEW. So unfortunately, NXT is nothing to top that off right now. But what can I say? NXT is still fine to watch. I keep saying it's at its low point. Yes, it's probably the worst it's been, but even at its worst, NXT still is watchable, I feel like. Even though some people don't think it's watchable, which that's fine, but it's just the expectations for NXT are expected to be higher up. But of course, mention that every single week, and I don't need to keep ranting on the same exact thing every single week, because NXT is not that show. So let's just roll in though and talk about this show and see what we've got here. So, of course, we opened up before the show started. Early Wednesday morning, it was announced that WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson passed away at the age of 79. They had a very beautiful opening package for him. As the rest of the NXT stars stood out on the ramp. Might get the same thing for SmackDown tonight. We'll have to wait and see, but there was a nice way to open up the show to honor the memory of Pat Patterson for sure. The inventor of the Royal Rumble match, and of course, the first ever inaugural Intercontinental Champion. A lot of great things Pat Patterson was known for. So we do a thank you Pat chant we get in the arena. And then we open up the match. It was a tag match. It was the NXT North American Champion Leon Ruff teaming up with one of his opponents on Sunday, Damian Priest, taking on the team of Santos Escobar and Raul Mendoza of Legado del Fantasma. Originally, this was supposed to be, I think, Leon Ruff versus Kurt Stallion. It's some dude on 205 Live, I guess, who is the next person to challenge for the Cruiserweight title. I don't watch 205 Live anymore, so I really don't know who the heck that is. But apparently he got taken out, so Damian Priest was replacing him. And then it was really supposed to be Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, but I think Priest took out Wilde, so it had to be Santos Escobar. And during the match, Johnny Gargano was on commentary. Just talking trash and whatnot as usual. And then all I remember during this match was fine. During the match, we just see, again, Damian Priest getting spooked out by Ghostface. That's now Johnny Gargano's running gag as Ghostface. And I don't get it. It was fine at Halloween Havoc. Now, again, it's starting to get very hokey. So one appeared there. And then after the match, in which Leon Ruff and Damian Priest won, after Priest was going for the Reckoning, but as he put his arm out to pose as he would before he hits the Reckoning, Leon Ruff tagged himself in. He's like, I got this. So Priest hits the Reckoning, and then Ruff hits his Frog Splash finisher to get the victory. But then afterwards, of course, Johnny Gargano is sitting there at the announce table just staring them down, and we have two Ghostface people appear from behind him. Again, this gag is getting old, and of course we all know my whole spew about Johnny Gargano being the heel. I'm not going to go there again. So, yeah. So, Ruff and Priest win the match. I still feel Leon Ruff's dropping that championship on Sunday, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll talk about that, of course, in my Takeover War Games predictions later on tonight. So that happens, and Johnny discloses. Then we take a look back at we get a recap of what happened in last week's War Games match, where Pete Dunne got help to win, as it was most likely Pat McAfee who helped him out. Then we see, at the time, there was only 3 of Team Shotzi named for the War Games match. Shotzi's in the garage, in the tank garage, where Ember and Rhea bring her a gift, saying every tank needs an engine. They let the cloth covering said engine, and it glows like whatever was in the briefcase, in Marcellus Wallace's briefcase, and Shotzi says she loves it, so I guess we'll see what that is at War Games on Sunday, probably in Shotzi's entrance, probably a new tank since hers got run over. We also get a video package on the Undisputed Era. Starts with the setup for this year's War Games match. They are in their limo, where Cole mentions they needed to get out because the last few weeks have been rough. Him and Kyle agree that they've been running things in NXT for years, ever since they first stepped foot into NXT. They go to a restaurant where Roddy says they should reflect on what got them here. Now, if they think, Bobby Fish just says, now it's time to kick some ass. Has Bobby Fish figured out yet how much fish Bobby Fish could fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Let's sing that, guys. Say it along with me. Ready? How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Tempo. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Faster. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Faster. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? More time. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Boy, I miss NXT back when it was built Takeover. And I miss that Matt Riddle also. So anyway, so Bobby Fish says we reflected enough. It's time to kick some ass. So he hires them doing just that, and Cole raises a glass to Pat McAfee for inspiring them to do this, as they will kick his ass and the rest of his team on Sunday. We'll hear from McAfee later, but then we have Cameron Grimes going to the moon! Not yet, but he was heading to the ring, and he has a little bag over his shoulder. He has something in mind. Before we get there, though, we have Mackenzie Mitchell with Team Candice LeRae for Sunday, and Candice talks about Shotzi's team, and then she laughs. She learns it's not a team. It's 2 people, and they're damaged goods. And last week, Indy Hartwell took a bullet for the team, which, she was in the neck brace. And this week, Raquel Gonzalez is going to win them the advantage. And Raquel promised after tonight, Shotzi is going to feel like she got run over by a tank. Ooh. Cameron Grimes, yeehaw, took on Austin Gray, squashed him, feeling all confident, again just raving how he claims he's not afraid of Dexter Lumis. So after he defeats Gray, he pulls out the bag, and then he starts screaming out, if Lumis wants to be strapped to him, a real man. So he puts the strap on Gray, and he clotheslines him down, and just whipping him, and starts gloating about how he'll be able to do this to Lumis on Sunday. But then Gray rolls out of the ring, and then as Grimes is still gloating, in comes in the ring and attached to Grimes is now Dexter Lumis. So Grimes, of course, was gloating until he turns around, realizes that Lumis is there, and gets stopped in his tracks, and then Lumis starts beating him down with the strap until Grimes breaks free out the strap and he runs away. Yeah, he's still scared of Lumis. That's for sure. So Cameron Grimes is not going to the moon tonight. Well, 2 nights ago he was not, unfortunately, because he ran away to his mommy whenever he saw Dexter Lumis. That'll be whatever it is. That'll be fine on Sunday. That strap match, we'll see how that goes. So we got that. Then we have Jake Atlas taking on Tony Nese. Some cruiserweight action. Decent match, not too bad. I still think Jake Atlas's new theme music is a little odd. I don't know, it sounds like a soft-sounding opera when it should be just, I like the one he had before. It was fine. Why did I have to change it again? I don't know, but, good match. Obviously, Tony Nese has still become kind of irrelevant. I mean, he's kind of ran his course in the cruiserweight division. Still think he's a decent athlete, decent wrestler, but he's not really doing anything anymore. Tony Nese beats him. Afterwards, he basically cuts a promo. And then she asks how rough his past couple weeks have been, and Alice cuts a typical babyface promo about he keeps picking himself back up, and this win is gonna put him back on course for another shot for the Cruiserweight Championship, even though he's lost twice in his opportunities he's had. Anyways, so we then have Pat McAfee and his crew with Pete Dunne and the tag champs Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And at first, Pat McAfee puts over Pat Patterson as a man he respected and, honored his memory. But then on to the other end of the respect spectrum, he's going to now address the worthless fans and the Undisputed Era. He watched their video earlier, and nostalgia was running wild in that video, brother. But he wants to get nostalgic and explains how much he spent getting his team together. Puts over Dunn in his UK title run, and how he won the advantage last week. Again, not admitting that it was him. Lorcan and Burch, he then hypes up Lorcan and Burch, and he gives them both the chances to yell, "Hell no," while asking if anyone is better than or ready for them, and they're going, "Hell no!" Then he turns his attention to the fans, who will tune into Sunday night to see him get his ass kicked from our mother's basements. But he has 3 badasses with him, and on Sunday, and before we can speak up, Pete Dunne, man of very few words, grabs the mic and says they'll end the Undisputed Era on Sunday, which gets Pat excited, and then how Pete talked and signs off by reminding us that they're the best and we suck. Cheers. Typical Pat McAfee promo as he's been cutting lately. So we have that match on Sunday as well. We see Raquel Gonzalez warming up with the rest of Team Candice. We get a video package for the grizzled young veterans who are going to be in action next against Everrise. Before that, we see another weird segment with Xia Li and Boa. I still don't understand this, but whatever. So we were supposed to get grizzled young veterans versus Everrise until Imperium come out of nowhere and they attack Everrise. And then Fabian Eichner gets on the microphone and says they're here to teach grizzled young veterans that NXT belongs to them. So they have a match instead. It's 2, pretty strong teams from NXT UK. Of course, again, I've always put over how much of a fan I am of Eichner and Barthel. Grizzled young veterans aren't too bad also. I mean, I would still say they're still pretty good, but I continue to say I still think this is only because they didn't have nothing to do for Zach Gibson as a single star. If there was more titles involved, Zach Gibson probably would have been a single star in NXT UK. But this team with him and James Drake has worked very well. It's simple, old school style wrestling, and I thought they had a pretty good match. Again, I'm excited to see both these teams. Well, Imperium did have a run of the NXT tag titles, and they didn't really do much with them at all. But definitely adding grizzled young veterans to the mix is going to put some depth in that lackluster tag team. And this match is actually going really good. Some really good counters, some really other good maneuvers as well. But then Everrise randomly runs in and causes this match to end in a no contest, and they beat down the 2 more qualified tag teams. I thought that was kind of random. They had some segment basically where they're trying to act like they're actually serious contenders. I'm like, yeah, right, not yet. So that ending was a little weird. But the rest of the match was pretty good. Fun. Loved it. Hopefully those 2 teams can still add some more depth in the NXT tag team division. I'm still wondering though why Eichner and Barthel haven't gone back over since NXT UK has been back though. I still feel like since I know having Walter and Alexander Wolf over there take care of business over there, but I still feel it still makes sense to me to see Barthel and Eichner be tag champs of the UK though. Just saying. But Who knows? So we have that. We have another segment of Thatch as Thatch Can, as Thatch is getting ready to start with his student, and then turns to see that Tommaso Ciampa has joined them. He says, nope, don't stop, but then Thatcher backs away before attacking. His student helps him with the beatdown, but then Ciampa gets a little comeback, but then gets caught in a chokehold and dropped, and then Thatcher smiles and leaves. It's a simple game like, submission specialists and mind games. Simple story. Could be a good match on Sunday between Ciampa and Thatcher. And then, of course, it's made official that we're going to see those two square off in a match on Sunday. Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Then we have the main event. Shotzi Blackheart and Raquel Gonzalez in a ladder match for the advantage for the women's War Games match. I thought this was a pretty good match. I think these women made very good use of the ladder in the match, I thought. Not the best women's ladder match I've seen, but I thought it was actually really good. Especially for, two fresher faces that, aren't the biggest names in NXT, but obviously, well, they treat one of them like she already is, with Shotzi Blackheart. We'll talk about Shotzi in the War Games preview and predictions. But during the match, we did have some interference. We have Indy Hartwell get involved in the match. She brings a ladder to the platform, and as the rest of Team Candice makes their way and climb down, head to the ring, Rhea Ripley and Ember Moon, who are still, as of now, the only other members of Team Shotzi, get down from their platforms as well and come down to confront them. While that's happening, Indy Hartwell brought a ladder to the ring, and Shotzi stops her, but then Raquel Gonzalez takes care of her. She climbs while everyone else brawls on the outside, but then out of the blue came Io Shirai climbing on the back of Raquel Gonzalez to stop her from climbing. And then the women's champ sends Raquel to the floor, and there's a freaking moonsault off of the top rope, and takes out everyone, including the officials who obviously came to restore order. But Io came down, basically solidifying herself as the fourth member of Team Shotzi, which again, we'll talk about that. Is my predictions. We'll talk about it when we get to the War Games preview and predictions. But off of that, and because of the help from Io Shirai, Shotzi Blackheart was able to climb the ladder, and for the first time since they've done, I believe, this whole advantage thing, a babyface team, as in for the women's War Games match, is going to get the advantage. So, for the men, it's Pat McAfee's team, well, the Kings of NXT, as they're calling themselves, I believe. They get the advantage of having, one man up, and having the first person to be entering the ring after, the first two start the match. And for the women, it's going to be Team Shotzi. So, interesting turn of events, for sure. So, we'll have to see, how it goes, where it goes, and, see how it goes. I'm pretty sure, though, Indy Hartwell is going to get involved somehow, since she's still kind of like, Candice LeRae's sidekick. So that may have been why they gave the advantage to the baby faces, but who the hell knows? I don't know. We'll wait and see. But that's the show, guys. That was NXT. As far as on Twitter, 4 votes. 50% said A, 50% said B. Nobody else said anything lower for NXT. I gave it a B myself. Some good matches, a couple of weird things, but some good matches. Gave this week's episode of NXT a B. We got Tyler saying some typical stuff. What's up, Tyler? NXT has no chance against AEW Sting. Heck yeah. Name the worst match on Raw. Ooh. The worst match on Raw. Huh. I honestly don't know. There's been so many of them. I don't know. I probably couldn't name one. I mean, one that I always think back to, I thought the booking was so dumb, was that one match in 2017. It was my worst match of the year, I think it was. It was a match between... It was a 4-on-2 match. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, was before they're called The Bar, they took on the team of Enzo and Cass and the Club, which I thought was so dumb because, again, it was the night that Mick Foley got fired, and then Stephanie McMahon was punishing everyone who was supporting Mick Foley. So they basically put The Bar in a 4-on-2 handicap match with their spot in their WrestleMania match on the line. And then they had Enzo and Cass come out and just say that they wanted to take out The Bar. But instead, we all know the long history, they weren't going to get along with the Club. They started brawling for no reason with the Club and basically just fed them to Sheamus and Cesaro and let them win. I thought that was dumb. That's one I gotta say. I don't know. I gotta think of there's probably many others that were pretty bad, but you know. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Again, 7:45. I'm gonna get ready for SmackDown, and again, so after SmackDown, after I get my new phone running, we are going to do my NXT Takeover War Games 4 preview predictions, and then if I'm still, awake enough and feel like it, I will talk about SmackDown. And we'll go from there, guys. And then Sunday, depending on what time I get home, maybe live review of NXT TakeOver War Games, because I'm going to visit my friend again. So, awesome possum. Alright, guys, so that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me for this review, guys. Again, I gave NXT a B. What are your thoughts on NXT this week? Even though, once again, there's no chance compared to AEW because of Sting. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And make sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe or comment to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBoy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have the rest of your night. Enjoy SmackDown, everybody. Peace out, everybody.